Well, hi, everybody. Thanks again for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about a big old mess. Yeah, a real mess. And it looks like it just may cost Ford Motor Company an awful lot of money. Welcome again to my virtual campfire. I am the RV Wingman, doing my level best to help you avoid some of the traps and the pitfalls that too many RVers find themselves in, and connect you with America's most trusted RV dealers. My contact information is available by scanning the QR code you see on the screen, as well as a link in the description down below. So let me ask you something. If a big name manufacturer like, say, Ford Motor Company sells you something that is marketed as rugged, off-road, and adventure ready, but later on, after you buy it, well, they say, oh, you can't really use it that way. Is that false advertising, or is it poor engineering, or maybe both? I'm going to let you decide. I want to jump in here real quick with a special invitation and a chance for you to win something I think is pretty great. PPL Motorhomes just opened their 6th location, and to celebrate, they're giving away a $600 shopping spree to someone right here around our virtual campfire. No strings, no pressure, just a little thank you for being a part of this online community. And anyone can win. To enter, it takes maybe 15 seconds. Just scan the QR code you see on the screen or click the link down in the description. That's it. There's no purchase necessary. And again, anyone can win, no matter where you live or whether you own an RV or not. But here's what I'm most excited about. If you're anywhere near the North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, mark your calendar for June 13th and 14th. I know it's right around the corner. It's Father's Day weekend. It's also the grand opening celebration at PPL's newest location in Decatur, Texas. I'll be there in person, and I'd love to meet you. This is a great chance to see what PPL's all about. No sales pressure, no commitment, just an open door event where you can ask questions and check out how PPL treats folks. And you get a real feel for what the RV market is doing right now. Even if you're just curious, maybe thinking about selling or maybe buying someday, this is your chance to poke around and get a whole lot smarter without the usual dealer nonsense. So swing by if you can, and again, enter to win the $600 giveaway while you're at it. You could use it on parts, accessories, service, I don't know, even a down payment on your dream RV. The winner is going to be announced on Father's Day. I hope to see you there. Today we're going to be diving into that mess that has left a lot of young van lifers, as they're called, feeling burned about their purchase of their Ford Transit Trail van. You're going to hear what went wrong, why it matters, and what people can do about it with one of the nation's most respected consumer protection attorneys. She knows lemon law, breach of warranty, and consumer fraud cases inside and out, especially when it comes to RVs and specialty vehicles. Her name is Beth Wells. Beth has represented consumers nationwide. She has in mediations, jury trials, arbitration hearings, and if anyone can help you figure out your rights, Beth Wells surely can. A couple of months ago, you and I did a video on the Ford Transit Trail van and some issues that consumers were having. And if people missed that, I'd like to sort of recap that if we can, because I think there's a lot of traction. A lot of people that bought these vans are going, what the hell? And so can you kind of encapsulate the story of what's going on with Ford Transit Trail? It was introduced during the pandemic, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so a lot of people, particularly like in their 20s and 30s, are interested in living like the van life. And for a lot of them, what they have to do is they'll buy a unit and then they'll have to get different things done by different providers to make it into like what they want. The idea behind Ford Transit Trail was that Ford would warrant everything and they'd do everything like under the umbrella of the Ford warranty. So you just had to go to Ford and get your Transit Trail van and you'd have everything that you needed. And be protected by the warranty.
But these young people that were trying to get into the van life, I think that many of these people from California and parts out west, because that's where that's super popular, they were buying this marketing image, what was portrayed by Ford, that, go out off road. It's got the big tires and it's rugged and all that. Yes. I mean, but it turned out not to be that way.
Right. So, and then it turns out that for whatever reason, I think I read it's at like 60-degree turn, the wheels hit the inside wheel well of the units. So Ford's solution now is to you can't use the off-road wheels.
So they issued a factory recall. Like I can't remember. A couple of years ago, at least a year ago, they issued a factory recall and said, "Hey, I know you bought it for the off trail, but we have a solution." And the solution was to put smaller tires on it.
Right. So you can't take it off road.
Not a very good solution. So,
no, because the purpose was to take it off road. Yeah.
And so they're not making that. Apparently, they stopped making the transit trail. So there's no 2025 model. And they discontinued it. And I think it was just kind of a quiet discontinuation. They didn't make a big announcement. They just stopped doing it.
Yeah. I mean, and I've looked through a lot of advertising for the prior years. It seemed, at least to me, from seeing all the advertising, that they were really pushing it prior to that.
And, to Ford's defense, there is no defense, I don't think, for poor engineering and selling something that was not marketing something that was not going to live up to its claims. But I think that the pandemic had a lot to do with it, perhaps parts and issues. And there was a lot of confusion going on in lots of the world because of that, including the automotive world. So I think that if I were Ford, I would use that as kind of an excuse. I don't think it's going to hold up. So what are you hearing? Are you hearing from people? Have they contacted your law firm about their transit trail?
Yeah, we're getting clients, all the same kind of thing. People that bought it to use it off road and now they can't. So,
but what is there any kind of a general consensus of what you're hearing? Is it all pretty much the same?
All pretty much the same. Bought it for off road, can't use it off road. That's what I bought it for.
So what are you doing? I mean, what can the Burge and Wells Law Office do to help me if I have one of those transit trails and I'm not happy with it?
For a couple of the different ones that we've gotten in, the claims are just varying from state to state. So we're doing some research on like kind of what we can allege in each state and some basic arguments. And so we're hopeful that, we'll be able to help get people out of these, or at least get them some money.
I heard that there was a class action suit that had already been filed by somebody. I'm not trying to get into the legalese. What's that?
There may have been. We prefer to handle cases just on an individual basis, just so that we can focus on that particular person and get them the best deal or the best remedy that we can for them.
Okay. Yeah. I've been involved, in class actions before, and I'll end up at the end of the day, I'll get literally a check for $2. Yeah. I mean, it's taken years to settle some. Here's your check for $2. Well, thank you so much. So I think getting a little
that makes up for it.
What's that?
That makes up for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Glad I waited that 2 years for my $2. All right, so it's not just the tire problem that I'm hearing about in the transit trail, but the suspension, and there were some different things. The way Ford marketed it, it just you spent extra money on these things, and then you didn't get what you thought you were paying for. That to me sounds like a valid claim that me as an owner could make against Ford.
Yeah, I mean, just generally, a unit has to be fit for its ordinary use or its intended use. And if it's marketed for off-trail use and it can't be used off-trail, or if there's something wrong with the suspension and it's not safe or reliable, then it's not going to meet those implied warranty requirements.
So what I'm hearing from you is, if I have a Ford Transit Trail, if I'm happy, fine. But if I'm not happy, to contact an attorney, contact you, for example, but then you have to check depending upon what state. California is going to be different from Utah. And so that tells you, however the laws are in that state, what direction you have to go to make your claim against Ford.
Right. For example, like for an implied warranty, some states there has to be privity of contract, which means you would had to have purchased it direct from the party you're trying to allege breach of implied warranty against. So in that case, you wouldn't be able to allege that against the manufacturer because you bought it from their authorized dealer. But in most cases, you can assert a claim for a breach of implied warranty against a remote manufacturer like Ford.
In most cases, but
yes. And then in other cases where, like, if it's a state where privity is required, we've been successfully just trying to figure out different claims there might be, for instance, like under that particular consumer act in that state, or other ideas, just kind of brainstorming outside of the box, like what we can do to help people.
Okay. I know that we talk primarily about RVs and, travel trailers, motorhomes, that kind of thing. And this is not one of those. If someone has an issue and wants to contact you, do they go to the same website, RVlemonlawcom, and still fill out the form? Or do they call your office directly and speak with someone? Or what do they do?
They can call our office and speak with someone. We also got a couple different websites. So we don't just do RVs, although we do a lot of RVs. We do like regular cars, trucks, motorcycles, the same kind of idea in the law, just like fewer problems, fewer repair trips typically. And usually like the lemon law is going to apply to the vehicles, whereas in most states, a lemon law is not going to apply to an RV.
Okay. So this is a different thing, a breach of warranty, I think you said, or so, there's a different legal term for it, but it sounds like to me, the easiest thing to do is to have somebody evaluate it for free. I mean, you guys, a lawyer, and actually look at it and say, hey, okay, we might be able to help you or not. Right. I mean, I think that's a tremendous service. I truly do. I get contacted all the time that you're not able to help everybody. You help a lot of people, right. But a lot of people say, I contacted them. They said that I had to wait longer to have my RV, in the shop before I could make a claim or whatever. But I think that what you do is it saves people a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, even though maybe some people don't like to hear that they have to wait a little longer or something like that, it does. In many instances, if you file something too early, you might just waste your time in the end. And, maybe it's dismissed, maybe you lose. But if you had gone back one more time, maybe given a little bit more opportunity to repair, then your case is going to be stronger.
So that's the story behind the Ford Transit Trail van. Slick marketing, big promises, and a whole lot of buyers left with something that they can't really take off-road. So what do you think? What do you think Ford is going to have to do? What do you think Ford should do? Let me know in the comments below if you would. I read every single one. A huge thanks to Beth Wells for joining me today. Beth is one of the top consumer protection attorneys in the country. Like I said earlier, she knows lemon law, breach of warranty, consumer fraud cases, especially when it comes to RVs and all kinds of specialty vehicles. She has represented consumers nationwide in mediations, jury trials, arbitration hearings, and if anyone can help you figure out your rights and what they are, Beth Wells surely can. If you'll grab your cell phone, scan the QR code you see on the screen, you'll find a link to her law firm, as well as links to America's most trusted RV dealers and other contacts of mine. If you can't scan the code, the link is in the description down below. If you found this video to be helpful, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and maybe share it with someone who might be in the same situation. That's going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Y'all be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.